All right, guys. So welcome into a live stream. As you can see, we're not in the normal setup, not in the normal studio that we usually record in. I'm with my in-laws right now in Pennsylvania, and we didn't get a chance. We were traveling for the holidays and didn't get a chance to do the post-game reaction after the Houston Texans game. And I wanted to hop on here with you guys, have some coffee. We're outside. It's cold. But I just wanted to hang out with you guys and talk some Ravens football with y'all, man, and talk about specifically why the Baltimore Ravens are a legit Super Bowl contender. And sorry, guys, I know it's not the normal quality camera, microphone, all that stuff, but we're making do with what we got. Thanks to everyone already popping in. We got Fortopia, Junior Lawson always coming through, Reese, Pastor Sean Ellis saying MV3 for Lamar Jackson. That's right, man. I definitely think Lamar Jackson is going to win it. I do. If he doesn't win it, man, there's something going on because Lamar Jackson with 39 passing touchdowns right now, 4 interceptions, plus you just throw in 800 rushing yards, plus the season that he broke Michael Vick's record for the all-time most rushing yards for a seat in a season for an NFL quarterback. It's absolutely absurd. Lamar Jackson should absolutely win the MVP. The conversations are heating up among some of the analysts. I got a chance to catch up on Twitter and see some of the conversation that's going on. But, yeah, Sunkist has it right. No one is better than our quarterback. Way better than Josh Allen. A lot of respect for Josh Allen, but he's not on the same level as Lamar Jackson right now. It's just not. There's not a quarterback in the NFL right now that's playing at the level as Lamar Jackson. Not even close. Now, what really matters is the legacy, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. He wants the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson said if he ever wins the Super Bowl, he's going to change his number to number 1 because his dad always says he was the best. He said, you're the number 1. We know Lamar Jackson's dad passed away when he was young. It was unexpected. And Lamar Jackson said his dream is to win that Super Bowl and change his number to number 1, which is what his dad always referred to him as. So, yeah, man, I think this could very well be the year. There was so many roller coaster moments throughout the season. The Baltimore Ravens got off to an 0-2 start, then ripped off a ton of wins. I think we were 5-2 at one point, right? And then we had disappointing losses to the Browns, dropped interceptions, disappointing loss to the Steelers, missed field goals. Obviously, the terrible loss to the Chiefs in week 1 where Isaiah Likely didn't get that toe down. But also a lot of big moments in the season. You can look at the Chargers win was huge. The Texans win on Christmas absolutely blew the doors off the Texans. We'll talk about that game in a few minutes here. I think about the last game against Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson said he finally got the monkey off his back. So, yeah, guys, thanks for everyone in the chat, man. We're just going to chill, have some coffee. We're going to watch some Thursday Night Football here in a little bit. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I hadn't had a chance to talk to you guys after that Texans win, which was huge. So let's talk about that real quick. Baltimore Ravens, 31 to Houston Texans, 2 points. Zach Orr's defense pitched an absolute shutout. You know, the defense didn't give up a single point. It was the offense that actually gave up points in the safety. And which actually the game that Derrick Henry had was absolutely phenomenal. He was running all over the Texans, but that safety definitely looked like it was Henry's fault to me, where he tried to bounce it outside. But you got to know in that situation where you're in your own end zone, man, you got to fall forward. Even if it's a no-gain situation, you can't bounce it out and then move backwards. But the defense is playing like night and day difference in defense right now. And I want to talk about that. So check this out, guys. Check this out. All right. So I want you guys to look at some of these games since November 7th was the last bad performance that the defense had. November 7th, we gave up 34 points to the Bengals. By the way, a lot of teams are giving up over 30 points to the Bengals because they have Joe Burrow, who would be in the MVP conversation right now if the record was a little bit better because he's having a phenomenal season. He leads the NFL in passing yards and phenomenal passer rating, touchdowns, the whole nine. However, November 7th, check this out. Ravens gave up 34 points. The next game, they gave up 18 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was week 11? Week 10, whenever Zach Orr decided he's going to make a switch. He's going to change it up, and he's going to put Kyle Hamilton back there at free safety. Kyle Hamilton, an absolute weapon to move all over the defense as a blitzer, as a dime linebacker, a slot corner. So many different ways you can use them. The Ravens were using him up near the line of scrimmage a lot more, but Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson were not getting it done at free safety. Kyle Hamilton was originally a free safety at Notre Dame. So he's like, no worries. I can ball hawk. He's one of the smartest players I've ever seen. Kyle Hamilton is so cerebral, so smart. His communication that back there on the back end, I think, is what turned around the defense. And him not giving up those long touchdowns, man, he's so smart. So Kyle Hamilton back to free safety, and our Darius Washington getting added into the lineup. Forced a fumble on Russell Wilson a few weeks ago. Big goal line stop against the Texans. Our Darius Washington having the best season of his career. However, that's not surprising to me, because you guys know the year that the Ravens drafted our Darius, man, or he came in undrafted, I actually wanted the Ravens to draft him because I liked him out of TCU. Very instinctive, smart, scrappy football player. Our Darius Washington, he earned a starting spot last season. Remember, we opened up in 2023 against the Houston Texans. Or Darius Washington was a starting nickel defensive back. He was a starter for the Ravens, and then he got hurt. So his entire career has been riddled with injuries. But this season is the first full healthy season he's had, and he's out there starting, making a big time impact on defense. So shout out to our Darius Washington. So Darius Washington, Kyle Hamilton, that move alone is a single-handed reason why the Ravens can win a Super Bowl this year, man. Because check it out. Let's go back to the stats. November 7th, the Ravens gave up 34 points to the Bengals. Following week, give up 18 points to the Steelers. Following week, 23 to the Chargers. Following week, 24 to the Eagles, who are a Super Bowl contender. After that, only 14 to the Giants, 17 to Pittsburgh, 2 to the Texans. Should have been a goose egg, right? Defense didn't give up a single point. It was the offense that actually gave up the points with the safety. I saw a stat somewhere where the Ravens they're averaging like 180 passing yards per game throughout that stretch. None of these passers are going over 200 passing yards since that moment where we got lit up by the Bengals, and since that moment where we made that switch. And guys, the offense was already the best offense in football. That hasn't changed. This is the number one offense in yards per game. Let's see what it is in points per game. Bear with me, guys. I know we're just hanging out. So like we said, the defense getting crazy hot over the last few seasons. Just like over the last few weeks. The defense as a whole Marlon Humphrey lost weight. Marcus Williams is going to be back healthy. And we got off to a really slow start. But it's finally coming full circle. The Ravens are playing their best football when it matters the most, man. So let's look at the offense, the stats real quick. So the Ravens, number one offense in football right now, averaging 424 yards per game. That's not my opinion. That's facts. Ravens' best offense in football. You pair that with, over the last 6 weeks, the number one red zone defense, and a defense that's averaging around 16 points per game allowed. You got yourself a pretty potent formula to win a championship. The Ravens are fifth in the NFL in passing yards per game. They're second in rushing yards per game. Talk about a balanced offense when you're top five in both categories, rushing and passing. I think that's a good sign, right? And then what matters most is points per game. The Ravens are third in the NFL at 30.2 points per game. Sorry, guys, it's cold. But our Ravens coming full circle, a complete football team right when it matters the most. The Ravens now have a game lead on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got 10 days rest. Win one more game against the inferior Cleveland Browns. The Ravens are division champions and will lock up the number 3 seed minimum. I think they still have a chance at the 2 seed if the Buffalo Bills were to lose out. Probably not going to happen, but at minimum, if the Ravens win, they'll be walking away with the number 3 seed, hosting a playoff game, possibly 2 playoff games, and have a big-time opportunity to make a run and win a Super Bowl. That's why the Ravens can win a Super Bowl. It's not just the offense anymore. The defense is legit. The defense, we talked about this. We said, hey, man, early in the season, we said if the defense can just get average, they don't even got to be elite. If they can just get average with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, 2 future Hall of Famers, in the same backfield together with the tight end sets, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, 1,000-yard season, Rashad Bateman being a legit weapon now. We said, hey, man, Ravens can win the whole thing if the Ravens defense can just be average to good. But now they're more than good. I mean, they're a legit defense right now. Over the last 6 weeks, they're one of the best units in football. Shout out to the Ravens for life for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. He says Lamar will break the record for best passer rating in NFL history. I think he's like, half a point away right now? If he has a nice passer rating game against the Browns, I think he's got a chance. Win MVP and Super Bowl. That is by definition the best single season by a quarterback in NFL history. Merry Christmas. Shout out the Ravens for life for the super chat, man. I appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead. Bible says that the power of the tongue speaks life and death. Go ahead and speak it, man. Go ahead and speak it. Ravens going to the Super Bowl this season, man. I believe it, man. I really do. I think the Ravens are 100% capable. They are so talented. And anytime, even without the surrounding cast that Lamar has right now, you just know that anytime Lamar Jackson's on the football field, you have a chance to win. Like, he can will you to a win. So there's a good chance Lamar Jackson wins MVP. I don't know how he doesn't. If he finishes over 40 passing touchdowns with 4 interceptions, with what he's done on the ground as well, I don't know how he doesn't win MVP. Maybe if Josh Allen throws like 10 touchdowns over the last two weeks, it's possible that he could win. But I mean, what Lamar Jackson just did on Christmas, what he did the week before against Pittsburgh, and the way I think he's going to finish against the Browns heading into the playoffs, man, I think he wins MVP. And then Ravens for Life says Super Bowl. How about we throw in a Super Bowl MVP as well? By definition, the best single season by a quarterback. It's possible, man. The Ravens are absolutely capable of winning a Super Bowl. Last year, the Chiefs were not the better team than the Ravens, but they still won the Super Bowl. They weren't. They just got hot at the right time. And it feels like that's what's going on with the Ravens this year. Like last year, you would probably look back and say, well, the Ravens might have been better overall team because the defense was the number 1 in the league. Triple threat, most sacks, most fewest points per game, fewest yards per game, most takeaways, I think. Ravens defense was so good, but that was the first year in the Monken offense. This is the second year in the Monken offense. Defense took a little bit of a step back, but getting hot at the right time. Defense getting hot with Zach Orr at the right time. MPIP says, plus stupid media narrative, screw us Lamar lovers. What's funny, I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a graphic that came up during the Josh Allen game against the Patriots where Drake May, the rookie on the 2-win Patriots, had more passing yards than Josh Allen and more touchdowns as well, having a better overall game. And they had the quarterback comparison stats. They throw them up on the screen. The media team does during the game. The graphics crew. They took off Josh Allen's interception like it just didn't exist. They had Drake May's interception under his stats, but they took away Josh Allen's, so it wasn't being broadcasted for the whole world to see. I was like, what is this, man? And then I don't know if you guys saw this too, but Josh Allen's offensive lineman got him an MVP necklace for Christmas. So they think they think that Josh Allen's winning it. That's fine if he does. It'd be crazy it would be an injustice to what Lamar's accomplished this season. But I think Lamar's looking for bigger fish to fry. I think he's on a mission. I think the Ravens have a lot of ways to win. They can definitely win in a shootout. We saw that this season several times. We saw Lamar win in those games where teams just took away the run, and he had to throw for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. He can do that. We got the weapons for that. Do we want to do that? No, not necessarily. We want to keep the game in control. We want to run the football. We want to run play action. Our offense is at its best when it's really balanced and teams don't know what to do. Oh, is it a run? It's a fake toss. Oh, it's toss. It's toss left, toss right. Trap inside, wham, inside zone, outside zone. All the different run concepts that we can run with Henry. And then you saw the diamond formation that Lamar Jackson ripped off that 48-yard touchdown. I don't know if you guys saw that, man. Lamar Jackson had the wheels back, baby. Over 21 miles per hour is the fastest run of his career. He said he wanted to lose weight in the offseason. And he said, there was a quote that came out that he said, if I would have had my legs right in the AFC Championship, we would have won that game. And I think he was a little bit banged up, and he was heavier than he wanted to be. But he worked on getting that quickness, that burst back, lost some weight, wanted to condition and stuff. And you're seeing that run, man. It came into full fruition on that one. But the thing is, man, I 100%. I can just see it right now. Us going into Kansas City in the AFC Championship game and giving the rock to Derrick Henry 30 times in the cold. I'd love to see that, man. That would just break down the Kansas City defense, and then sprinkle in the quarterback design run, and then the tight ends, and also the Chiefs have given up some big plays in the passing game. Let Bateman and Zay get loose a couple of times. The Chiefs' offense hasn't been great either over the last the Chiefs' offense really hasn't been anything special the last 2 seasons. It's been their defense that's carried them. But Bill Raven says it right, man. He says, Rashad, what can't Lamar do? He says, Rashad Bateman is so deadly deep. Baltimore football history says, who cares about MVP? That's what we're saying, man. He has bigger fish to fry. Lamar's looking for that Super Bowl. Junior Lawson says, in comparison to how many teams this year been around and how many Super Bowls and division ships, other teams can't compare. Who Billy says that Mixon would have scored if Marcus Williams was playing safety. Alex says, I agree to give Henry the rock. Dude, I feel very strongly about this, that if the Ravens commit to the run, it feels like, I want you guys to just take this in for a second. Think about this. The Ravens went into the Houston game saying, we're going to run the football. Like, they made it a mental shift, a focus that, like, we're going to run the football. Derrick Henry's not going to be denied. And he was asked about the last few weeks how much better he's been. He said, man, it's been the blocking. And the game against Buffalo, where Derrick Henry exploded at an 87-yard touchdown to open up the game. I think he went near 200 rushing yards in that game, where we blew out the Buffalo Bills at home 35-10. The Ravens went into that game saying, we're going to run the football on the Bills, and they're not going to stop it. When they go into that game with that mentality, and the mentality that Derrick Henry already has, and then you also have to worry about Lamar, it's too much for defenses to handle. There hasn't been a defense, whenever we're run blocking well and Derrick Henry gets going, that's been able to stop the offense. There hasn't been a single defense. Week 1, we didn't give Derrick Henry the rock enough against the Chiefs. I think that'll change if we see him again. He did. He said, hey, he was surprised he hit his top speed. He said he was just felt like he was jogging. So yeah, guys. Excuse me. Just wanted to hop on here with you guys real quick and hang out, have some coffee, and talk some Ravens football. Because the Ravens are getting hot at the right time. We win the division and host a home playoff game if we win at home versus Cleveland. So then you'd have 2 back-to-back home games, get some momentum going that way. 10 days of rest before this next game is huge. And the fact that we were able to win all 3 of those games in that 11-day stretch is absolutely huge. The Ravens, who were, 8-5 at one point, 9-5, are probably going to finish. Yeah, they're 8-5. Going to probably finish 12-5. Rolling into the playoffs hot, man. That's what it's all about. Who gets hot at the right time? Who's playing their best football in January? The Ravens certainly looking like they're doing just that on both sides of the football, which is why we think the Ravens can win a Super Bowl, is because the defense has really turned the page. Night and day difference. Bringing in Dean Pease, safety adjustments, personnel shifting, Tre'Davious White, Nate Wiggins getting more playing time, Brandon Stevens adjusted role, pass rush schematic stuff, running some more like stunts and stuff from my opinion. Defense night and day. So I love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in with me just to hang out, drink some coffee, and talk some Ravens football. The Ravens are in a great position to go win the whole thing, man. And we'll have some more content for you guys here soon. Like we said, we're here in Pennsylvania with my in-laws out here on the porch. Just wanted to talk some ball with you guys traveling for the holidays. So I love y'all. Appreciate you guys. And see you in the next video.